A busy man is seldom visited by idle friends. No flies fly to a boiling pot. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. The more perfect a person is on the outside, the more demons they have on the inside. The only person with whom you have to compare ourselves is that you in the past. And the only person better you should be, this is who you are now. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Depression is a frozen fear. If youth knew, if age could. I believe that if you'll just stand up and go, life will open up for you. Something just motivates you to keep moving. There is no need in childhood as strong as the need for a father's protection. Time spent with cats is never wasted. Thought is action in rehearsal. Envy is destructive. Don't be tempted by it. Live by your own rules. Maturity is the ability to postpone gratification. When one does not have what one wants, one must want what one has. The mind is like an iceberg. It floats with 1/7 of its bulk above water. Words have a magical power. They can bring either the greatest happiness or deepest despair. No mortal is capable of keeping a secret. If his lips are silent, his fingertips speak. Betrayal oozes from him through every pore. Experience teaches us that the world is not a nursery. Keep your face towards the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. I'm not going to continue knocking that old door that doesn't open for me. I'm going to create my own door and walk through that. The best is always the enemy of the good. Everyone owes nature a death. Life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. Let us make our future now, and let us make our dreams tomorrow's reality. We enter the world with loneliness, and lonely leave it. We are never so defenseless as when we love, and never so helplessly unhappy as when we lose the object of love or his love. A woman should soften, but not weaken a man. A husband is almost always only a substitute for the beloved man, and not this man himself. Religion is a universal compulsive neurosis. We are so made that we can only derive intense enjoyment from a contrast and only very little from a state of things. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Every normal person is really only partly normal. When people marry, they no longer live for each other as they did before. They live with each other for someone third, and dangerous rivals soon appear for the husband, the household, and the nursery. From era to era, one discovers the entire truth. People are more moral than they think, and far more immoral than they can imagine. Recognizing a problem is half the success in solving it. A man is sometimes more generous when he has little money than when he has much, perhaps to keep from thinking he has none at all. The first indication of stupidity is a complete lack of shame. Just as no one can be forced into belief, so no one can be forced into unbelief. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, "I'm possible." A father's death is the most important event, the more heartbreaking and poignant loss in a man's life. Perfect, eternal, hate-purified love exists only between the addict and the drug. The first human who hurled an insult instead of a stone was the founder of civilization. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by assholes. The voice of the intellect is quiet, but it never tires of repeating, and listeners are found. You don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens. All people are born bisexual and later choose their sexual orientation depending on their life circumstances. How bold one gets when one is sure of being loved. Thought is action in rehearsal. Without love, we fall ill. All family life is organized around the most damaged person in it. Keep your face towards the sunshine and shadows will fall behind you. Love and work, work and love. That's all there is. A problem is a chance for you to do your best. All adaptation is partial death, the disappearance of a particle of individuality. The best way out is through. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. We are never so defenseless against suffering as when we love. Don't take yourself too seriously. Know when to laugh at yourself and find a way to laugh at obstacles that inevitably present themselves. At a woman's breast, love and hunger are crossed. Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Most people do not really want freedom because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. Happiness is a child's dream fulfilled in maturity. Limitation in the possibility of enjoyment raises the value of the enjoyment. Out of your vulnerabilities will come your strength. History is just new people making old mistakes. Next time, ask, what's the worst that will happen? Then push yourself a little further than you dare. A woman will never want sex with a man who doesn't get her hints. Dreams do not come true just because you dream them. It's hard work that makes things happen. It's hard work that creates change. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. The only shame in masturbation is the shame of not doing it well. In the small matters, trust the mind. In the large ones, trust the heart. Civilized society is perpetually menaced with disintegration through this primary hostility of men towards one another. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Friendship is an art of keeping distance, while love is an art of intimacy. We adults don't understand children because we don't understand our own childhood anymore. Once you face your fear, nothing is ever as hard as you think.